Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. Today I want to show you 3 different paintings that I created in my most recent series, Memories Are Forever. So this was really a change for me. I'm combining and merging two styles, the acrylic washes on raw canvas together with my botanical paintings. I'm so inspired by nature and I just can't stop creating those botanical works. But this time, this series is definitely different. And this artwork in particularly, it was the second artwork that I created in this series. And by the way, today all those paintings will be up for sale, listed on my website. So if you're interested, go check it out on rinskedouna.com. But this artwork is called One Small Step. And this was the first time I really started to feel the connection with the acrylic washes and understand how they are working. I love to layer everything on top of each other, different colors in small steps in different layers. So they create those transparent effects together. And in this artwork, I'm really trying to work quite neat and create big and bold shapes with those colors. And you will see in the next paintings of this series that my process is totally changing and evolving, and I feel much more at ease with those acrylics and the shapes that I'm creating. And this is the last step, one small step to end and finish this painting. It's adding some textured gold, just intuitive, where I feel it doesn't take away from the composition, but it creates a lot more interest and a pop of color. So here you see the close-up of one small step, and I love that the acrylics really look like watercolor. The next video is chaotic by nature, and this process, it was a hard one for me. This is the fourth painting in this series, and it's called Chaotic by Nature. So if you know me, I'm super chaotic. I'm such chaos in my head, in my environment. But I love to always keep my work area clean, but around it, there's a lot of clutter. And I always have tons of ideas, and like 99% of them I don't follow up on, but 1% I do. And most of them have something to do with painting. But this artwork, it's really started more detailed, more like the Evolve series that I did, if you followed that one. A lot of different colored lines, and I was really feeling this composition here. You see, I'm much more at ease working on raw canvas now. I can let go a bit more. While I was creating this composition, I really loved it. I also really loved the color palette that I was using. But I just didn't have a clue how to continue, and I felt there was some dark contrast lacking, so I'm adding that here right now. But I went too far, and you see here I'm starting to add a lot more of this dark color, and eventually I'm almost sort of covering this beautiful composition up. It was very frustrating, really, almost overworking the acrylics too, but I was loving those organic lines. And so I thought, let's go back a bit more with adding a lot of white and just creating a lot more shapes, and see how I can save this painting and how I can manage to create a beautiful botanical garden. And so while I was doing this, I felt so loose. I already sort of gave up on this painting, and so I really could take every risk that I wanted. And that was for the best, because in the end, this is definitely my favorite painting out of this series. See, the composition, it's just on point, and these colors are just fantastic. You know, green is so my color. I just love green. And of course, to add the last final step, just a little bit of gold. And in the next painting that I will show you, by the way, I'm much more at ease with adding the gold. Here it was still quite challenging, and I didn't want to go too far with it because I was so scared to take away from the composition. But yeah, this is chaotic by nature. Also listed on my website for sale, rinskedouna.com. So next up, this is the last painting of the series. And this painting, it took me a couple of weeks because I took a break after the first layer, because this first layer is so kind of realistic and such a hard starting point to create multiple layers on top of it, that I really needed to think about it, what my next move was. So this was my second layer, so after a couple of weeks, and I just felt teal. And here you see I'm just adding those big acrylic washes like I did in the first painting. And because I came back after 2 weeks to revisit this painting is called With Fresh Eyes, because I really needed to look at it with fresh eyes to see what was needed for this painting. And what I love here is that it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good, but I felt good about this painting. I felt, I can make this work. I feel so much more comfortable with the fact that the first layers are just not 100% beautiful, right? So just building up those layers till you see that sweet spot where you see the composition, where you see that the colors are working, and just adding the final touches. So I had added quite a lot of blue and dark blue to this painting. So I felt like, I love green. We need some more of the green in this. So just adding that back. And this is the first time after these layers that I'm here, so this is the first time here that I'm using an iridescent gold, and the iridescent gold together with the blue and the green, and because it's a little bit of transparent color, it creates beautiful, shiny green layers. So here I was totally feeling this composition. And of course here I was so happy with the composition and the colors. And so I ended up using quite a lot of textured gold this time. So I'm using Relief paint by Amsterdam and then touching it up with a small brush. So this is With Fresh Eyes, also listed on my website. So if you're interested, go check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday.